Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us at BCIT's Flexible Learning Info Session. My name is Willa, and I'm a program advisor here at BCIT. I'm joined by my fellow program advisor, Shelley Schumas. We advise on all BCIT flexible learning programs, which were formerly known as part-time studies programs. Tonight, we'll provide you with some information about how to start, advance, or change your career with a BCIT education. We are using a Zoom's webinar platform tonight, so we won't be able to see or hear you, but we do have a Q&A function at the bottom or the side of your screen where you can type your questions, and we will be able to address some of them live at the end of the presentation. Before we begin, we'd just like to acknowledge that BCIT is located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam people. Here's the agenda for tonight. If you have any questions on topics that aren't covered, you can, again, type them in the Q&A function. And at the end of the presentation, we'll be able to answer some of those live. But if you do have a question about your personal circumstance, or if you want to have a longer discussion, please contact us at Program Advising. Our contact information will be at the end of the presentation. As well, you can use the search bar at the top right-hand side of our website, bcit.ca, to find the information that you're looking for. As well, all of the links that will be on these slides, they'll be sent to you in a follow-up email after this presentation. And now, Shelley will share why flexible learning at BCIT could be a good fit for you.
Thank you, Willa. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Shelley Schumas, and I'm a program advisor here at BCIT and our flexible learning department. So tonight I'm going to talk about why you'd want to enroll in flexible learning at BCIT, as well as how it works to be a part-time study student. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. So at BCIT, we have over 1,000 part-time studies courses. So there's a lot of choices to choose from. They span over applied and natural sciences, business and media, computing and IT, engineering, health sciences, trades, and apprenticeships. With such a wide variety, you can take an individual course in flexible learning, or you can work towards a full credential, and then you would graduate with that. So why flexible learning at BCIT? Well, really what sets us apart at BCIT is that we have applied learning. So what this means is that you learn by doing. So we have theoretical education that's combined with practical skills training. So another reason you want to consider part-time studies or are now flexible learning at BCIT is career development. So you can start a career or work on a career change by taking evening classes, maybe on the weekends. You could take classes as well online. So the flexibility is there for you if you have other priorities during the day. We have a lot of students in our flexible learning that are working full-time or have other priorities, so it makes it a great option. And another great reason to consider flexible learning is that it does allow you to upskill. So you could take one course and also keep competitive in the job market. So you can also put that on your resume as well. Another great factor for flexible learning at BCIT is that we don't have formal entry requirements or prerequisites or transcripts. There's not a lot of supporting documentation. So this really it's a low barrier entry for a lot of people to get education. So it makes it very accessible. Some programs do have entry requirements, but many of them don't. But we do expect English proficiency to do well in your studies. Again, we have a variety of options in flexible learning. So distance, you can do online, you can do in person. It's up to you. You create your own schedule. So it's course by course registration. Academically, there is no minimum or maximum course load. So you can start in any term, and enrollment into programs is accepted year round. And it depends on the credential, or you could just take one class, as I mentioned earlier. If you do decide to do a program, usually you're provided at least 3 to 7 years to complete it. So it gives you a lot of time. So, you really build an education that suits your needs. You can start with one course and finish with a degree. So again, great idea for anyone that's working full-time. And our BCIT reputation. The BCIT reputation of having small class sizes from 20 to 30 students also is very helpful for that ratio for student to instructor, because you're also trained, coached, and mentored by industry professionals who serve as your instructors. So they design the classes so that you are job ready. So BCIT, our graduates have an excellent track record of getting jobs, and that's across British Columbia as well as Canada. Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide there. Okay, so here I just wanted to point out that our winter 2023 term is currently open. So if you want to register in a course, you can do that. You can start in January. So they did open on October 26th. So there are still seats available. It is not too late to get started. All right. So we'll go to the next slide there. So I'm going to just go over how would you start as a flexible learning student, because a lot of knowing what to do just begins with how do you start, and I have a guide to help you do this. So I'll go over that. Okay. So we'll just go over to the next slide there. And what I'm going to do is just go over a little bit of how you would start as a flexible learning student at BCIT. And we'll continue to educate you on that throughout the presentation, and we'll go into that in more detail later. But the first step is to choose you'll either choose a program or a credential. So that would be finishing an actual program at BCIT, or you can just choose a course. You can just start with one course and work towards a program or credential. So on the link on that slide, you'll see BCIT/Flex. You'll be able to browse through our programs and courses there and see if anything is of interest to you. And again, it's open enrollment. English 12 is expected. There's no proof of your English 12 for most courses. We do have some programs that do have formal entry requirements, such as accounting and financial management. So just make note of that. Always check the entry requirements page. Another thing is when you are choosing a program, choosing a course, trying to figure out what you want to do, it's an excellent opportunity to go onto YouTube and look at some info sessions or attend an info session. We have business and media info sessions very often, as well as all the other schools offering info sessions. So it's a great way to find out if you're trying to figure out what to do. So once you understand, okay, I'm going to try this course, the next thing you want to do is register with your BCIT student number. And one thing I wanted to let everybody know is that when you register for a course, you will need to pay for that course, or you will be dropped for non-payment. So it's just something that's really important to know. It does happen quite a lot. So just to note that you will need to pay for the course. The third thing that you might want to do when you're becoming a flexible learning student at BCIT is declare. So at BCIT, we say declare, and that is if you want to continue, you've taken a course, and then you actually decide you want to actually take the full program. So the declaration would allow you to do that. Now, if you are an international student or if you are getting student loan funding, you will need to declare, and Willa will go into that a little bit more detail later. And I just wanted to make note, we get this question a lot from a lot of our students because a lot of our students are mature students, so they're going back to school. And so what's the time commitment? So the time commitment that you'd be looking at for a 3-credit course, which would be one course usually, is 6 to 9 hours a week, including scheduled lectures. Okay, some courses may have a higher time commitment, but that kind of allows you to figure out how many courses you could take depending on your personal schedule. So the next section, Willow will discuss the 6 sectors that we have at BCIT. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. So with this slide here, it shows the 6 sectors that our programs and courses fall into. Just note, if you are an international student, be sure to check this link for the list of programs that are accepting international students. Under Applied and Natural Sciences, we offer programs in these areas through flexible learning. If you are interested in any one of these, you're welcome to contact the department directly for questions regarding the program content or what the courses are like. Their contact information will be on the program page under the Contact Us section. And to access any program pages, all you have to do is type the program name in the search bar at the top right-hand side of our website. In business and media, we have over 300 courses and over 50 programs in the areas that are listed on this slide. If you are interested in any particular area, you could attend an info session. The department does hold them quite frequently. As Shelley has mentioned, though most programs do not have formal entrance requirements, the accounting ones do. So that includes the accounting diploma, the financial management certificates, as well as the associate certificates that are within the accounting category. So be sure to check the program page. If you have any questions about meeting these entrance requirements, feel free to contact program advising or to email or make an appointment. In computing, we offer credentials shown in the categories on the screen, so just to the right. And all of these programs can be completed through flexible learning on a part-time basis. If you're completely new to computing, the first course you can start with is Comp 1002, which is the first course on the list that's at the bottom left of the screen. This will give you solid foundation in the Windows operating system. And then depending on what your interests lie, you can go on and take either an introductory programming course, Comp 1516, or an introductory database design course, which is Comp 1630, or an introductory web development course, which is Comp 1850. And then after that, you can choose to enroll in a program, complete the remaining courses of the program, and earn a credential. With engineering, there are many employment opportunities in the construction industry, especially in the Lower Mainland, as it is very busy and a key contributor to our economy. And we're currently experiencing a labor shortage, especially in this area. So they're always looking for more skilled work in these areas. Within these categories, one of our most popular is interior design, as well as architecture. So within health sciences, there could be some in-person labs or practicums. So when you go and register for an individual course, make sure to check, and Shelley will be able to tell you where you can check in order to find the information about whether it's in person or online. Some of these programs have entrance requirements, as we mentioned before. So for example, the specialty nursing programs, those are open to those that are already registered nurses. Another popular program is the occupational health and safety. And that one does not have any formal entrance requirements for the associate certificate. We do offer individual refresher courses in these areas for trades through flexible learning. And so if you're going to go write your Red Seal exams, we do have some refresher courses. And those with formal trades, education, and or work experience may be eligible to enroll in our Bachelor of Technology program in Technology Management, which is a degree that has specifically been designed for tradespeople in order to have an opportunity to earn a degree. And now Shelley will introduce some information about our individual.
So on this slide, I'm going to just have a look here and let you know about the different offerings that we have in flexible learning. So we have the on-campus courses, which are in person, which could be at our Burnaby campus or could be at our downtown campus. We have blended courses, which have online and on-campus components. And then we have some programs and courses that are entirely online. So I'll go into further detail in the next slide and give you some examples. So we'll go to the next slide there. So this is an example of one of our courses, quite a popular course. It's Accounting 1 FMGT 1100. So this course is a part of our computerized accounting program. And if you have a look at this course, you'll see that it's blended. So there's part of this class that is asynchronous. So under the dates and times, you'll see NA and you'll see online. So you don't need to meet at a certain time. So there's no a virtual lecture online, but you'll have weekly assignments and due dates and, instructions from your instructor. However, you will see there that you have to attend exams on February 18th and March 25th, and those are in person. So just an example of what it could look like. And then also in the top right-hand corner there, you'll see the CRN number, which is what you'll need when you register for a course, and the cost will be there as well. So that's an example. And also for those exams that are in person, they will be noted as well in the important information section underneath the course. Okay, so I'll go to another example here in the next slide. And this example here, just at the top there, you'll see the winter 2023 tab, because now our winter term is open. Now this is an example of the same course, but it is going to be in-person instruction. So you'll see downtown campus, you see the location, you'll see at the time. So we're just trying to give you, this is another example of that same course, but we have 10 different offerings. So we've got lots of flexibility. So this could be something that you might be able to attend if you want in person, and it's a Wednesday morning. So just one more example of what you can have in flexible learning. We'll just go to the next slide there. So as I pointed out earlier, just while you're a student, you need to use your research skills and look at a lot of information when you're registering a course in flexible learning. So there's an important information section underneath each course. So we just wanted to point it out. For example, for the FMGT course we were talking about earlier, under the important information for that course, it's just talking about that there is in-person exams. So anything will be in that important information section. And proctoring is possible for those exams as well. So if you cannot make it. Other important information that could be there is labs, if it's a health course, health sciences course. Sometimes some of our computing courses may have departmental permission required. So it's always just good to double check that important information section. Okay. So we'll go to the next slide there. So the next slide, we have another example of a course in flexible learning, and this is a Communication 1 course, a Communication 1120. This course is a very popular course because it's a required course for our Interior Design Fundamental Certificate. So I just wanted to point out in this course, there's under highlighted is the prerequisite. So some courses will have prerequisites. So it's always a good idea as a flexible learning student at BCIT to double check to see if there's a prerequisite. For this course, it's in English 12 or equivalent. So if you're not sure about a prerequisite, it's always a good idea to double check with program advising. We do offer one-on-one appointments as well as callbacks, Zooms, or in-person appointments in flexible learning. So in some cases, just to note, sometimes we do accept equivalent knowledge. So then that would be sometimes a question we get. So that also is something that you could ask us about. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to head over to our next slide now. Okay, and at BCIT in flexible learning, you'll hear a lot about laddering your credential. We have a lot of opportunities for laddering, and I'll talk more about that in this slide, but it's basically you're laddering from a smaller credential like a certificate or an associate certificate to a diploma to possibly a bachelor's degree. So it's a great way to build on the knowledge and the skills and the courses that you have. So we have many different offerings at BCIT if you just want something really quick and short, or if you want something longer. Micro credentials are fairly new to BCIT. Now they're short courses, they're digital badges. You can put them on your LinkedIn profile. They cover all 6 sectors. And if you want something really, a short program, something really quick, you can always check and see what we have for micro credentials. There's a lot of there's new ones coming up all the time. Another example of what you could have at BCIT is a statement of completion. Now those are also short, usually they're 4 classes, and it's something that you can put on your resume, complete, and that's another example of what you could do. If you wanted to continue, you could even ladder to an associate certificate from a statement of completion. And we also have certificates. So all of these are short specialized training programs that apply your theory and your practical skills to work in a particular field. We also offer diplomas. They're longer, they're more intensive. They do prepare you for employment in technological, technical, and paraprofessional and professional occupations. We also offer bachelor's degrees. So we have BBAs, which is a very popular program for a lot of our flexible learning students because they can do it part-time. We have bachelor's of technology, which Willa mentioned earlier, and we even have master's degrees in part-time. So another great option for flexible learning students who want to keep, they might want to continue working and growing professionally. They might want an advanced studies. So this is advanced studies. We have advanced diplomas for people that already have, let's say, a diploma, or they have a degree. And sometimes we even look at your work experience and your prior knowledge plus your education for these advanced diplomas. So it's a great opportunity for students to continue to grow professionally with an advanced study. So again, the laddering model, you can start with an associate certificate, build those skills to a diploma, and then build it to a degree. So one example could be we have a computerized accounting associate certificate. You could apply those courses to a diploma, and then the diploma courses to an accounting degree. So next, Willa is going to talk to you about, once you've decided what you want to do, how the declaration process works in flexible learning.
Thank you, Shelley. So if it interests you to pursue a part-time flexible learning program, so completing all of the required courses in order to earn a credential, you can do so by first declaring a program. So declaring is essentially applying to the program. We call it a declaration if it does not have any entrance requirements. For programs that do have entrance requirements, such as accounting, interior design, or graphic design, then those programs would be found under apply for a program. So the screenshot that's on this slide just shows you what your My BCIT account would look like, and where you can click depending on which program you are wanting to enroll in. The processing time is about 6 to 8 weeks. However, this doesn't affect your ability to register for the individual courses. So you don't have to wait to be accepted into the program before you register for your courses. And this is especially important because, as Shelley said, the course registration is on a first come, first served basis. So it's always good to register early to avoid disappointment. Now, there is a possibility to have previous education or experience count for credit towards a BCIT course through transfer credit or higher learning assessment recognition. So transfer credit is using a course taken from another institution. And this can be requested at the time you declare a program or even after you are enrolled in a program. You'll need to provide your transcript, your course outlines, and the recency is a factor in the consideration. You don't have to submit a transfer credit request for a course that is taken at BCIT. That course would be automatically reviewed when you declare a program. Prior learning assessment recognition is for prior experience, and this is done through the department. So you would have to contact the department directly to ask if this is an option for that particular course. And information, of course, can be found on our website. So domestic students may be eligible to apply for government funding for their flexible learning program. You'll have to first check if the program is eligible. So the link on how to check is on the screen. You'll also get the link in that follow-up email that I mentioned. If you need any clarification about whether your program is eligible or not, please contact the Financial Aid and Awards Office. If it is on this list, then your next step would be to declare the program. You must declare the program first before you can apply for funding. And again, if you have more information about this process or have any more questions, then please contact our Financial Aid and Awards Office. As a part-time study student, you do have access to resources that BCIT provides. They are shown on the screen here. Something that is not shown on the screen is career support. So BCIT offers a job posting board and online modules to help you with your job search and to develop skills that are important for your job search through our Center for Workplace Education. The BCIT Student Association also has extensive career resources, which you can find on their website. So you can Google BCIT Student Association, and you'll find information about their networking events or job fairs or one-on-one appointments with career specialists in your resume and cover letter support. So lots of great resources through the Student Association. If you have further questions, you can contact us at Program Advising. So Program Advising, we have advisors that advise on full-time studies programs, and we have advisors such as myself and Shelley who advise on flexible learning programs. So whichever program you have questions about, you can email this email address and you'll receive a response. For flexible learning inquiries, you can also make a virtual or in-person appointment. You could also request a callback for flexible learning inquiries, but I do recommend making an appointment because a callback, you could receive a call from one of us at any time during the day, versus an appointment is at a scheduled time. So you'll know when you'll be able to meet with one of us. And you also get a full 30 minutes with an appointment. So as promised, we do have some time to answer some questions. I've noted some questions that we would answer live because it would benefit for a lot of people to know. If we didn't get to your question, it means that we've either already typed a response to it. So I will just open up the Q&A and I'll answer one, and then Shelley, you can answer one too. Yeah, so I'll go with the one that's the top of the list. So someone is asking if they can complete a certain or enroll in a certain type of subject at BCIT. To find that, you can just use our search bar that I mentioned on our website and type in the subject that you're interested in and see if there is something available. And as for the how and what you need to do, we did go over the process in the presentation, but if you need more guidance, then feel free to contact us at Program Advising, and then we can go do some more individualized assistance.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I see a question here. It's about the second one here. What would be the criteria of the credit system in flexible programs? And not quite. Oh, so basically the credit system is we use 3 credits, one course is 3 credits. So don't know if that answered your question 100%, but you know, when you take a program, for example, an associate certificate, altogether, usually it's about 7 classes, so it could be around 21 credits. So that's how we do it. Most post-secondaries and public institutions do that. It's by credit hours. So we're in line with a lot of the other public post-secondaries on how they do credits for courses. All right. All right, so Willa, do you want to take the next question?
Mhm. Yeah, so another question we have here is, will I get credits after doing any flexible program? So as Shelley mentioned, our courses are for credit. So when you go to register for a course, you'll notice it'll be indicated how many credits the course is worth, and it's usually 3. Sometimes the course might be 4 credits or it might be 1.5. Again, as Shelley mentioned, that just depends on the hours of instruction. After every successful course that you've completed, it'll show on your transcript. It'll indicate the course that you completed, your final grade, and the number of credits that you've earned. And you can work your way to completing an entire program by completing the appropriate number of credits that is required for the program. Right, Shelley, you can take another one.
Okay, I just had my eye on one here. I'm gonna go to the top. Okay, so that was from Aisha. Can full-time programs be completed in a flexible way too? So typically they're not. They're very structured. Most full-time programs you would be in class around 8:30 to 4 Monday to Friday, and they follow like a day school kind of system. So it's very similar to day, I guess, a day job hours. So yeah, so it's usually not available to do it flexible because you're on a set schedule. So you cannot pick your courses, you cannot pick the time. It's pretty much all set up for you once you're accepted. So you do not have to register in the courses yourself. That's all done for you when you're in full time. Whereas part-time, you can pick the courses, you can pick the time, you can pick it on class online, you can go in person. If you just want to do online, you can just choose online classes. So they're quite different actually. Right. Willa, do you want to answer the next one?
Yeah, so I just wanted to add for the can a full-time program be completed in a flexible way? Some programs might offer a full-time and part-time option. So such as our interior design fundamental certificate, there's a full-time option and a part-time option. So the same content, but just different program delivery formats. Same thing with our interior design fundamental certificate, our graphic design. There is a part-time and a full-time. There's accounting diploma that is a part-time and a full-time. So some select programs may have both offerings, but if a program just says full-time, then you, as Shelley mentioned, you can't pick and choose. You're on a set schedule during the day.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I added to that, and I'll just choose another question here. So for interior design courses, someone is asking, is it possible to complete the full program online? So no, it's not possible to complete the full program online, any of the interior design programs. There is one course that sometimes has online options available, the COM 1120, but all of the other INTD courses have in-person only. Sally, you can take one.
Yeah, okay. So let's have a look here. I have someone that's asking about, is there any groups, past, current, or prospective interior design students? So we have a lot of students and alumni. We don't really have a group that, are openly able to be contacted just because of confidentiality that sort of thing. But you know, what you could do is if you're looking to speak to people, sometimes some people are open to networking on LinkedIn, perhaps to find people that had graduates from BCIT. You could try alumni services as well at BCIT to see if there'd be any graduates willing to you know, have a conversation. In terms, I think that's what you meant by groups, but it could be something else. But I mean, when you're in a class, you also have the network of your student cohort and your student group. So that's another way to connect with students as well. I'm not quite sure if I answered it properly, but I guess if you still want more, you know, information from us, you can always email us as well after the presentation if you wanted more specific information. All right. I don't know if you have anything to add to that one, Willa. Are there any groups for past perspective?
I would say maybe one is not really a group, but there is like a blog type website called commons.bcit.ca, and it seems to house a lot of like club websites and like student created content. So again, if you have some more specific questions or you want the links, then feel free to email us at program advising. Okay, so I'm going to choose.
Do you want to answer the next one?
Yeah, I'll answer the next one. Occupational health and safety cover BC or Alberta too. That it's primarily BC focused. I don't know if it also extends to Alberta. It really depends on whether Alberta also follows the same regulations as BC. So you can contact the department to ask about that. They're the subject matter experts, and the department contact information is on the program page under Contact Us. Great.
Okay, so I'll answer the next question. And thank you everyone for all your great questions so far. You're a very interactive audience. So I have Sharon, she's asking, does declaring apply to micro-credentialing or certificate? Or is it just the longer programs? So not for micro-credentialing, you don't have to declare. For the statement of completions, you wouldn't have to declare. You email the department to get your you know, whenever you finish the statement of completion, they'll mail something to you. So when you declare, it would be associate certificates. So those are ones that are shorter programs. Usually there's 7 or 8 courses. And I find a lot of students start with the associate certificate. It's a good place to start. And they may then ladder into the certificate or the diploma. Some diplomas are under the apply tab, as Willa mentioned earlier. So some of them do have formal entry requirements. So just make note, you know, of that when you apply. So yeah, so declaring is always a good idea if you've done a couple classes, just because sometimes our programs do change. So it does put you on an approved list of courses when you get your program approval letter. So we encourage it if you decide that you want to finish a credential. It's always good to declare after a couple courses. All right. Anything else you want to add to that, Willa?
Nope. I'm also typing some answers to some questions here as well.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to find a question that would be beneficial for everybody to hear. Here. So what is the deadline to declare a program? There is no deadline. Declarations are accepted throughout the year. What we do encourage is if you're not sure about the program yet, just take a course first. And oftentimes that will help you decide whether you want to pursue that area or not. Also, in the case of computing programs, you actually have to do that first before you can enroll. Like the department requires students to complete a course first before they can enroll in the program. So if you're able to do that, we encourage that. As soon as you know you want to pursue the program, that's when you should declare it. A benefit of declaring your program is that should the program matrix change in the future, the program plan that you originally were following would be honored. So again, if you have more questions about that, feel free to email us.
Okay, just answering a question here, typing it out here. So just going to go back up to a question from Louisa. She's asking, do I need to declare my program if I'm taking part-time interior design courses? And if so, when should I do it? I think Willa just kind of answered that question. As she just mentioned, after taking a few classes, we really do recommend you do declare the program or apply to the program, as it does put you on the approved list of courses, and you'll get your program approval letter in the mail. And if the program matrix does change, you've already been approved to follow the matrix that was on your approval letter. So I definitely recommend it. It is worth the money that you need to pay if you want to complete the credential, because at some point you will need to declare in order to get that piece of paper mailed to you anyways. So maybe it's better to do it after 1 or 2 courses for sure. Okay. Do you want to take the next one, Willa?
Yep. So someone is asking if these programs are different from co-op programs. So as Shelley mentioned, BCIT, we're really preparing our students to be career ready. So teaching skills that are directly applicable to the workplace. So doing more interactive projects and assignments, and utilizing classmates. So just having the overall applied learning concept. Co-op is where you go to a workplace and they hire you as a student, so they pay you, almost like an employee in their company, but it's facilitated by the institution. So flexible learning, we are not co-op programs. If you're interested in co-op, that's available for BCIT full-time students in select programs. But due to the nature of BCIT, since our programs are already so applied, co-op isn't as big of an emphasis compared to other schools that are very theory-based. We are very much a practical, hands-on applied learning focused institution.
Okay, great. Right, so I will come back up here and answer this question live. So Jay has asked for a specific upskilling. Would one be able to take a course without taking the 101 prerequisite? In some cases, yes, that could be. It could be the case. It depends on the course. Sometimes students will have equivalent knowledge, which we usually send them to the department sometimes to have that maybe assessed for some courses, especially computing. But or if you've done a lot of, extensive post-secondary and you really don't need one specific course as a prerequisite. So in some cases, yes, you can do that. And if you had any challenges in the course and you didn't take the prerequisite, then it will be your responsibility to kind of take care of that at that point. But it is possible, and it sort of depends on your background and your skills and the education you've had before. But we do get this time to time for sure. So it's always good to check with program advising, and then we can kind of have an assessment of what you've done in the prerequisite and what's the course, and then you can take it from there. All right. Awesome. Okay, well, I'll let you get to the next one.
Mhm. Yeah, so someone has a question um, about recency when it comes to transfer credit, and if this applies to courses taken at BCIT too. Um, so, for example, if you want to ladder your credentials, as Shelley mentioned, so using courses from an associate certificate, for example, and using them toward a certificate. So for transfer credit, as well as courses that were taken at BCIT, there are usually some parameters depending on the course, could be 3 to 7 years, but it's always assessed on a case by case basis, especially with the laddering, because let's just say an introductory course was taken 10 years ago, but 2 years ago you took an intermediate or advanced level course in that subject. Then usually the department will look at that and see that you've maintained the knowledge of that introductory course by facto of completing an upper level intermediate course. So things like that. So we do have parameters, but again, we assess it on a case by case basis.
Okay. All right, so I will, okay. Oh, okay, so the recency, you just added that one. Okay. Somebody is asking here, will we have access to today's recorded file link? This will be uploaded onto YouTube and you will get, I'm not sure if you get a link to the recorded file, but it usually is up on YouTube fairly quickly after the presentation, and you will get sent out an email from marketing. It will have a lot of important links for part-time. And Amelia saying, yes, it will. You will get the link as well. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Will I let you go next?
So someone is asking which are the courses we can pick if they are part of a full-time program, we can't, right? So that's correct. All of the courses that you can register for individually are part-time flexible learning courses. So you will not see any full-time courses there that you can register for. As Shelley mentioned, full-time programs. The department registers registers students in the courses, so you'll never see them online. I do notice we have 4 minutes left, so I'm just scanning if there's any questions that will benefit most. Okay, so I do see some specific questions about someone's specific circumstance, so email us about that. Someone is asking about a full-time program. So anything about a full-time program, we won't be able to answer in this session, but you can always contact our office, program_advising, and we do have full-time colleagues that can answer full-time studies questions. Here is trades. So as I mentioned, in flexible learning, we have refresher courses for certain topics, but if you're wanting to start the process from the ground up, so going through foundations toward apprenticeship and then earning Red Seal, there are different avenues, but BCIT, we offer full-time programs for those foundation programs. So it's not possible to complete that entire route through flexible learning at BCIT.
Okay. All right. Got somebody else. Okay, Willa's typing an answer for that question. Okay, someone's put up a link here, prospective international student group. Okay, to make connections, feel free to join. Okay, so that's just for the whole group. Now the next question I've got, when maybe we'll get 1 or 2 last ones here because we got to wrap up here, and we really appreciate all your questions, but time is kind of running out. So this one is from Toby. Do online students have access to Canvas? Absolutely. So yes, you definitely do. So when you're part-time or flexible learning student, you really have a lot of the same accesses that our full-time study students do, except you don't get the UPass, but everything else, all the student supports and resources you get. So yes, definitely library. I've got another one. Maybe should we do one more?
Yeah, there's one about if you have special needs for learning, can you request an online only course to be in person? So we do have an accessibility services office. So it was on the slide that I showed with the different student services, but they also have a section on our webpage. So you can search for accessibility services on our website, and there's different accommodations they can do. I'm not sure of the specifics, but you could always contact them for more information. Okay, Shelley, you can take that one, or you got
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Oh,
All right, perfect.
I think we're done,
So
actually.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right,
Okay,
thank you everyone for attending, and again for all of your great questions. If you have more, again, feel free to contact us at program_advising@bcit.ca. Or you can also make an appointment by calling 604-434-1610. If you want a more lengthy discussion about your personal circumstance, I did notice some of those in the Q&A that we weren't able to answer today.
all right. Well, thanks again, everyone, for coming. As Willa said, we certainly appreciate such an active audience, and you had so many great questions. Again, we do offer one-on-one appointments. They are at no cost. You can find us at program_advising@bcit.ca. And again, you can also call SIZE and make an appointment on Zoom or in person. So we're definitely available to help you out, and you can learn more about BCIT and all the options that you have for flexible learning. Okay, we'll sign off for tonight. So thanks everyone for coming, and we appreciate your time this evening. Good night.